Hello and welcome back to the channel. Yes, you've seen that right. Right now, some places in the country, you can expect to spend $8 for a dozen of eggs. Are you convinced yet that things are getting very ridiculous? Now, this is just eggs we're talking about. Now, imagine the grocery bill where everything has doubled or tripled in price. So a lot of people are starting to make jokes about it. We saw an older fella at the store the other day, and he says, well, I guess I just won't be eating eggs anymore. If they're going to be $8 a dozen, if that's what we're going to be looking at, then I guess I won't be eating them anymore. I've seen other places to where eggs are a lot more expensive than even $8. Now, I heard something else about organic eggs. Now they're going to be on great demand too. So if regular eggs are going to be $8 a dozen, can you imagine what organic eggs would go for? So we are definitely going to be picking up our chicken production this year. Yah willing, of course, right? Because this is ridiculous, right? I want to share with you all this article here of exactly what they are talking about. For those of you who are still hanging around in la la land and you just don't take anything serious, it's not just about the dollars and cents of eggs, but so much more. So why are egg prices so expensive in Wisconsin and the rest of the country? There's one big reason. So for me, when I saw them say one big reason, I said to myself, okay, that's your reason. I feel like they are intentionally running prices up on everything. So it says Yuppie Hill Poultry Farm in Burlington has been feeling the pressure from stores calling for more eggs. It's very ugly, Lynn Line, owner of Yuppie Hill Poultry, said. We're not as big as those commercial guys. We're getting hammered hard. Egg inventories are down after millions of chickens nationwide were destroyed because of exposure to avian influenza. The reduced number of birds combined with rising cost of feed, fuel, labor, and more, the average price of a dozen eggs has more than doubled in the past year. Yet the demand hasn't been diminished by prices that average $3.99 a dozen in the Midwest and can go as high as $9 a dozen for specialty eggs. Okay, so they've given a number of different reasons here, but even before all of this, prices were going through the roof on a number of different things, right? And I do feel like they create the buzz of these so-called disasters and so-called this and so-called that, right? They said millions of birds were destroyed. What kind of checks and balances were put into place to see if those millions of birds were actually affected by this disease, right? And so, again, it just makes you wonder who is pulling the strings on all of this? Who is making the decisions that are affecting a lot of people's lives? So again, they said egg inventories were down after millions of chickens nationwide were destroyed because of exposure to avian flu. All right. Okay. Now, I do like to err on the side of caution, but sometimes I wonder if certain things really are happening or if they are just reporting them so that they can create the frenzy that you see now or the rising tide of prices on this and on that. Because notice everything that the price has changed on or gone up on, they always have the perfect reason to give to the population to say, oh, so they said that's why it happened, right? So anyway, back to the article, it says, Yuppie Hill Poultry has been trying to keep up with demand, but time is not on their side. People forget that a chicken lays one egg a day, and it takes a dozen chickens to make one carton of eggs, Line said. We only have so many chickens. Line Farms has roughly 40,000 cage-free chickens, which is a drop in the bucket compared to these big commercial guys. She says adding the commercial farms could have as many as 1 million chickens. Stores are doubling their orders with Yuppie Hills Poultry to keep the shelves stocked. It's rough, Line said. Everyone gets upset when we don't have eggs, and we're doing our best. We're trying to please everybody. So let me stop right there for a minute. Who's getting upset? You got to be one tripped out person if you expect the birds to put out more than they are able to put out, or that this farm should provide more than it can. We can attest to the fact that eggs can only come if the chickens are laying them. And no chicken that we've ever had has laid more than 2 eggs a day. So you can only get what you can get. So who is upset at something that is beyond their control? That's what happens when you have a consumer mindset and you don't have an understanding of how things work. You have this mind of entitlement to where you don't even look at the situation at all. So anyway, back to the article. It says, what's the price of eggs in Wisconsin? The egg-based pruning has already been done to death. So let's cut to the chase. The price of eggs has hit historic highs. Retail prices in the Milwaukee area now start at about $3 a dozen for large white eggs and can be as high as $8 to $9 a dozen for free-range, organic, and other specialty eggs. The $3 a dozen price, if you can find it in stock, matches the national average advertised price reported by the United States Department of Agriculture. The Woodman store in Menominee Falls this week advertising a dozen Saunders white cage-free eggs for $2.99. Most of the store's prices were between $3.50 and $5 a dozen, topping out at $7.79 a dozen for organic eggs, pasture-raised eggs from Vital Farms. Pick and Saves on its website advertise eggs starting at $4.69 for a dozen. Now we've seen places where organic eggs are just ridiculously priced, way above what this is, and that some regular eggs are going for the $8. As a matter of fact, the gentleman the other day, the older gentleman, he's a black guy too. He was talking about the buzz that our eggs in our area are going to be close to $7 to $8 a dozen. And he says, I guess I just won't be doing eggs. I guess I just won't be eating eggs anymore. Right. And so I just kind of inserted into the conversation. I said, this might be a good time to get a couple of, I don't know whether he lives in the city or the country, but I said, this might be a good time to grab a couple of laying hens, if this is what we're going to expect when buying eggs, right? And so this is where the conversation needs to lead. How do you get out of these situations without being so dependent on the stores, the supermarkets, the grocery stores for all of your needs? What can you do to minimize your needs from these companies? Like buying of eggs. I'm recording. Like buying of eggs, raising your own chickens, growing your own vegetables. There are so many things you can do to try to beat all of this. Right now, we are a little bit past mid-January. And so I would say to anyone who's planning on growing food, get started. Now, we have already started. We are not playing around this year. Yah willing, we want to be completely prepared for this summer season, just in case we experience what we experienced last year, which was a major, major drought. All around the country, there was a major drought. How do you get past all of this? You prepare for the season before the season. That's how you do it. And that is what we plan to do by getting things started now. We've ordered things that we need to order. As a matter of fact, at any given time, you might see a pack of seeds on my desk here. Right there, I just have some iceberg, non-GMO, heirloom seeds for my lettuce, right? We have all kinds of different seeds right here. We have, let's see, trying to get that. We have some Detroit beets, non-GMO, USDA organic. Okay. Right there. So these are things we've been ordering. We already had a ton of seeds, family, but we always like to stay on top of things. Right there. Okay. Again, straight 8 cucumbers, non-GMO, right? Staying on top of things, family. I go through my seeds, I sort them. I have like a cataloging system for my seeds. I think I mentioned this before in one of my videos that I like to buy seeds like some women like to buy shoes. To me, this is a lot more important. A lot more important, family. Again, prepare for the season before the season. I'm done with this video, y'all. Say what you must in the comment section. As always, keep it tight and keep it right. If you can, get some backyard chickens in the city. Go for the gusto. It'll be definitely worth it. Hold on one second. It'll be definitely worth it if you are trying to beat these egg prices. All right, I'm done, y'all.